post-race conversation at Millbridge Speedway with Katfish, Karter Beattie. Karter, you had a nice top 5 in the Wing Micro, won your heat in that division. Before we get to the other two classes, let's talk about that a little bit. Walk us through your night in Wing Micro. You were fast from the start.
Well, we had a really good qualifying. We had a good run in the heat race. We had a really good run in the heat race, actually. We ended up winning the heat race on heat 1, so we ended up starting on the pole. Just on the first initial start, we guy on the outside got a good start, and kudos to him. He did a great job on that start, and I was just getting pushed from behind, and not that it was anything on the guy behind me, but I think I should have just been picking up the pace a little more and just keeping a more steady pace. I dropped off the gas in the middle of the backstretch and tried to keep a constant pace slower, but it was just really a racing deal, other than the caution didn't get thrown back. But in the heat race, I barely even jumped it, and it got called back, so it's whatever, I guess. But there's nothing you can really do about it now. We went in the non-wing, and we had good hot laps. Just wasn't too comfortable in the car in hot laps. Track was greasy, and then went out for the heat race. It was pretty quick, and just kind of put myself in a bad position. We ended up blowing the water line in qualifying originally, and then blew it again in the heat race. So we had a good night in the non-wing, other than in the main. We went out, and we were running next to Ty Gibbs and all the fast guys, and just I was racing hard, and I drove it off into the corner going to slide somebody, and Ty and somebody else got together and just they collided, and I guess they ended up in the wall. I don't really know what happened, but they were definitely in the wall when I got to them. And of course, when you're sliding somebody, you're in the gas, and you're trying to make it all the way to the wall, so then they can't pass you again on the top. So I hit him with the right side, and it bent the Nerf bar all up. So I had to pit, and I gotta thank Adam for sure. They all were running to go get a Sawzall, and Adam just grabbed it with his bare hands and bent it. So that was something
Mr.
to watch.
Olympia.
I was sitting in the car thinking, what is going on? I didn't know if he was trying to straighten it or what was happening. So we went back out and had a nice battle with another guy, and just we were fast. Just I went to the bottom there at the last couple of laps of our night, and just we were rolling the bottom for sure and learning a lot. Learning, braking on the bottom means a lot, right? So just learning how much that car needs, to get it set a little bit harder. So we were doing really good until we went into turn 3 and the water line blew off again, which I don't know how that really happened. I guess it might have been pushing too much pressure, but the clamps were definitely tight. We even double clamped it, and it still just blew apart.
Yeah, that's strange.
I don't know if it blew the hose apart or what happened, but it blew apart, and before I even stopped, I had the seatbelts unbuckled, and I was already out of the car, and they waited like 3 minutes to throw the yellow, which of course is not a good thing. So,
yeah, that was interesting.
I was out of the car, and officials were to me before the green light shut off, so I didn't really know what was going on there. I had a couple guys go by me and almost knock me over because they were digging. So I don't know. I just sucks, I guess, for that car. And then of course we went out in the open. We got a new Adams Performance built unit on the side of it, and great motor. Just honestly, I think we made a couple of mistakes in qualifying as a driver for sure. I kind of drove it through the grease, and then on one lap I kind of hit the grease, and then the second lap I kind of drove it through the bumps, just trying to find some grip. So all in all, mostly in the open was my fault for the heat race and the qualifying. So we went out and just had a good I told Dad before the race that I was just going to go out and try to learn without wrecking anything or getting hurt, because we had the other two classes to focus on.
Yeah.
So we went out there, and the track was just rough on entry, and I just couldn't hit my marks right. So I moved to the bottom, and the car was too loose, and every yellow or so, I was moving the wing back, and just trying to trunk the wing, slowly trying to find the right place, so, because you don't want to trunk it too much and just be tight. So,
Right.
Dad,
Okay, I know some of you are
under the
excited,
yellow,
you probably returned it over there. I'm just
Dad told me to move the wing more, so, I mean, of course, as a racer would, once his dad tells him something, he just trunks it, so I was slowly moving it, and he told me to go the rest of the way, so I trunked it, and we were fast on the bottom, just bottom was super, weird, really. It was greasy one lap, and the next lap it was dry slick, so, yeah, just something to focus on for sure on how the track changes as a driver, and hopefully we can get my iRacing back up and running, because I feel like that's where I'm slacking. When I was winning all the races, I was on iRacing every day, and now my sim's broken. So yeah, I just trying to get comfortable in the cars again. Definitely after having a wreck like that last season, you got to change the way that you think about racing. So that was definitely something that played into tonight after I bent that nerf bar. So yeah, just shout out to all the guys on the team, Adams Performance, Bundy Bill, SKE, KBR, Joy Seating, Millbridge Speedway, Kaiser, 10J, just anybody and everybody that ever lays their hands on these cars. And I'm just so thankful for them. So yeah, we had a good night. Just kind of threw it away as a driver a couple times, but just to learn.
Yeah, part of learning,
right? So yeah, hopefully we could get a couple bigger car races in this year, and hopefully win some more. How difficult is it, Karter, to adjust to 2 or 3 different cars in the same night? Because it seems like each one of them requires almost a completely different driving approach. Yeah, that was something that my dad had been training me for my whole life. Like when we were running karts and that, in 23 I'd run 4 classes every week, so it's kind of like running flat karts, you just run every class, or quarter midgets, you just try to run every class that you can. So that's kind of the approach that we took to it. So I adapted really quick on how and where to change your driving style. So definitely it's definitely hard, and not everybody can do it, but the guys that can do it, hats off to them, because I know it's very hard. And yeah, I mean, once you get used to it, it's not bad. But of course, like a night like this where the track's changing every time you go out was a little more different, because in the box stocks, the box stocks and junior wings and those karts, the track doesn't really change that much.
Right.
But when it does, the guys got a little more time to calm down and think about the setup. So yeah, I mean, the team had it on rails tonight. I just made a couple mistakes, and yeah, I mean, just a learning process.
Karter Beattie does walk out of Millbridge tonight with a nice wing micro top 5 going in the right direction.